In this video today, as promised, we will begin to scratch the surface of some chords in the turnaround that are just suggestions for you if you are looking for a little jazzier sound, perhaps, if you're ready to go to the next level, so to speak. Probably this is an intermediate level of playing. In theory, I'm not going to cover all of the intricacies of the theory as to why the notes sound the way they do, but we're just merely going to get started, and I will always welcome questions and comments, and hopefully I will not speak incorrectly or get any of the theory incorrect today. If I do, just let me know so I can make the correction. And the key is B flat, and we were working in the previous video on the turnaround chords at the end of the phrase. So it would be just a closer walk with thee, granted Jesus is my plea, daily walking close to thee, let it be, dear Lord, let it be. So at the end, one of the movements that I showed you in the previous video was this. Remember that? Now, here are the next two chords that you probably heard me put in the demo way back when. So after the came this. Isn't that a great sound? So we talked very early on and just briefly mentioned this concept, and that we would finally get here in this video and talk about chromatic tenths. Okay? Okay. So this is an F7. All right, so we have an F. Then we have the minor 7, which is an E flat. Okay. Then we have the 10th, which is an A natural. So F natural, E flat, A natural. And the reason we call that a 10th is as follows. If F is the root of the chord that we're in, it would be 1. G would be 2. A would be 3. B flat would be 4. C would be 5, D would be 6. For intents and purposes, we'll say that E natural will be the 7 for now. And then F would be 8, G would be 9, and A would be our 10th. And that's how we form this chord. Okay, so just play that a couple of times and get that into your ear. And I'm just trying to keep my fingers out of your view so that you can see which notes I'm using. This is an alternate way of playing. If you want to do 2 notes in your left hand, whatever you find is comfortable for you, or 2 notes in your right hand. Alright, so that's our F10. Now, the chromatic above that, just move everything up chromatically, 1/2 step. So let's start with our F and move the F to the F sharp, which would be G flat. Alright, then we move our E flat up to the E natural, and then we move our A, which is our 10th, up to the B flat. So we have G flat, E natural, and B flat. So that's our G flat 10, which is the neighbor to F10. G flat, 10, F10. G flat 10, F10. All right, and the flats that we're using here are the minor sevenths versus the major seventh. So this is a minor seventh, so that's why we would call that minor 7 or F7. And that would be F10, G flat 10, F10. All right. So now let's go down. Let's go down a half step. Move everything down chromatically a half step. Let's form the next 10th chord below. So we would take the F in our left hand, move that down to an E natural. Let's take the E flat in our right hand and move that down to D natural. And then let's move the A down to the G sharp, which would be our E10. E natural, D natural, G sharp would be our 10. Follow me so far? 1, flat 7, 10. So all we have done is just move chromatically. We're just moving the intervals is all chromatically. I mean, the interval itself of a 10th stays the same, so the combination is what we just move in half steps. Isn't that a great sound? And just get faster working with that. And it'll take a little while for your brain to register all of these things going on at the same time. Okay? So for example, start higher on the G10, the G flat 10, and then move down a half step to finish that ending turnaround cadence for the F7, which will be the F10. Or you can start lower with the E10 and move to the F10, like such. So one starts higher by a half step and resolves down to F. There's down. And the other starts a half step lower and resolves up to F. Okay. All right, so just as a little sidebar, if you will, maybe for the next video, I don't want this one to be too long or too overwhelming. What we can also do with the 10th is we can expand to, you've heard 13 chords, 13ths. So we're going to do the exact same thing with the 13 that we did in the 10th. Let's count them off. If F is our chord that we're starting, the root would be 1. All right, G would be 2, A would be 3, B flat would be 4, C would be 5, D would be 6, E would be 7, F, an octave up, would be 8, D would be 9, A would be 10, all right, B flat, that's the only F, that's the only flat in the key signature of F flat, 1 flat, would be 11, all right, and then C would be 12, and D would be 13. So that's how you find a 13th chord. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, flat 7, 10, 13. And so we can use the same chromatic half-step principles. So we turned our F10 into an F13. Okay. So now let's move all of those things up a half step. Go back to your G flat 10. So we've got G flat, E natural, B flat, and E flat. So there's a G flat 13. Then resolve everything down. Everything moves down 1 half step. There's your F13. Back up, everything up a half step. G flat 13. Now move everything down a half step to the F13. Alright, last part of the exercise, move everything down another half step again to the E13. We have E natural, D natural, G sharp, and C sharp, because the key of E major has 4 sharps. So we have E natural, D natural, G sharp, C sharp. There's your E13. Alright, and we find that the same way we found the other, same pattern. If E is our root of this particular chord, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 10 and 13. Alright, 1, flat 7, 10, 13. E13. Now move everything up back to F13. Okay. Alright, that's enough for right now, so just a little demo as we go to an outtake. Alright, so you can just use 2 hands, 4 notes if you like, if that feels better for you. Or you can use your right hand with 3 notes. Just find whichever way is more comfortable for your brain to work. As always, this is not the only way, it's merely a way to look at a turnaround in chromatic tenths and chromatic 13ths at the end of the verse and chorus of Just a Closer Walk with Thee in B flat. Come back next time and join me for another video. pianoryland@gmail.com